What are the differences in weight loss and training for men versus women? That's what we're going to cover in this video. But before we go there, click the subscribe button below if you haven't already, because on this channel, you're going to learn how to build a strong, healthy, high-performing body as a successful entrepreneur so you can have the body that goes along with your business success. What's up, everybody? This is Coach Amir, and in this video, we're going to tackle a really interesting and hotly debated, very often debated topic, which is men versus women when it comes to losing weight and training. There are some distinct differences that are really useful to know so you can actually apply them in your training, in your dieting to get better results faster. Now, one thing that you've probably heard a million times, which is absolutely correct, and you may have experienced this as a woman, is that it's much harder to lose weight as a woman than it is as a man. For several reasons, I'm just going to cover 2 or 3 basic ones. The first one is that women generally are physically smaller than most men. Most women generally tend to be smaller, therefore they have a smaller amount of muscle, and because of that, the amount of calories that you can cut to lose weight has to be lower. So if you take a guy who is 150 pounds versus a guy who is 250 pounds, if you take the same percentage off their, let's say 20% off of their maintenance, because the smaller person tends to eat a lot less than a bigger person does, it's easier for a bigger person to lose more weight. This is kind of the simple explanation between why, the main thing is between men and women, it takes longer to lose the same amount of body fat if you're a woman than it does if you are a man. Number 2 is women genetically naturally have higher percentage of fat and lower percentage of muscle because of that. So generally speaking, a woman, essential body fat, which means the amount of body fat that, if you go below, you die as a woman, is like, 10 to 12%. So for example, a woman at 15% body fat is like absolutely, I'm talking shredded, lean as you can be, like a stage ready fitness model would be like 14-15%. On the other hand, for men, it's about 8 to 10% lower than that. So for men, like 4% body fat is where you're basically, about to die. That's how lean you are. So for example, a great looking body fat percentage and for health, for looks, everything for women is about 20 to 22, 23%. And for men, it's about, 10 to 12%. So that's why I always suggest to most of my clients who do not want to be, professional fitness models, 10 to 12% body fat as a man is a great goal to, get to and reach and stay forever. And for women, it's about 20 to 22%, something like that, okay? And then there's another reason, the third reason that it's harder for women to lose weight, which is hormones, okay? Obviously, a man has, kind of one main hormone, which is testosterone, kind of stays the same over time, especially if you do things right. Yes, it's going to decline a little bit with age, but with the proper training and diet, you can actually have a really high testosterone up into your 60s, maybe even 70s. Decently high testosterone, not as high as when you were 20, obviously, but pretty damn high, so you can have a great looking, strong, and healthy physique. On the other hand, for women, hormones fluctuate a lot, obviously week to week, and especially 2 weeks, within each month, based on the monthly cycle. So this, which part of this cycle, monthly cycle, a woman is in is going to affect her hunger level, mood, what type of food she's craving, her ability to, do hard workouts also gets either better or worse depending on which part of that cycle she's in. So there's a bunch of these reasons and things that are affected by the fluctuations in hormones on a, week to week basis each month for women versus there's not really much, if any of that for men. Testosterone, especially if you look at, let's say 6 months of any year, it's pretty much the same, unless, there's some huge changes up or down for better or worse. But generally speaking, it stays the same. So these are the reasons that it's harder to lose weight for women. And also another reason is women have what's known as fat sparing metabolism, which means women will burn a bit higher percentage of fat when they're training than men will, which you can think, oh, that's awesome. But it's really not that, it actually doesn't mean anything, simply because if you're training 4 times a week, let's say, and you burn, 25% of the calories from that workout come from fat, and for men, let's say it comes about 15% from fat, that difference is nothing. It's like a few dozen calories, if that. On the other hand, the rest of the 23 hours of that day, the woman is generally sparing her fat and using mostly carbs. For men, it's the opposite. This is one of the many reasons it's easier for men to lose weight, simply because a man is going to spend less or lower percentage of the calories burned from the workout from fat, but the rest of the 23 hours of the day, his body is going to tend to burn more calories from fat and less from carbs. So this is, makes it easier to lose weight. So generally speaking, differences between men and women for weight loss, much easier for men than it is for women. Of course, this does not mean that you can't effectively lose body fat and get an amazing shape as a woman. I've had so far over 500 to 600 female clients in the last 14 years, and you absolutely can. You just follow the basics that are outlined many times in this on this channel, and it may take a bit longer than a man, but who cares, right? You have your own path and you get there. So that's when it comes to weight loss. When it comes to training, there are a couple of things, and really the two biggest ones are women have an amazing ability to do more volume at any percentage of your 1 RM max, meaning that they can just do more. So for example, if you take a heavy squat, give it to a guy and he does, 8 reps, the next set is like 7 reps, the third set is like 6 reps. So basically, as the weight gets, if it's very challenging for a man, our work capacity tends to kind of go down, each set. For women, they can just do like a really hard set of 10 and just do like 10. Basically their work capacity is much better than it is for a man. So they can generally tolerate and recover from and get results from more volume, more higher intensity volume than men can. But this is all up to about, let's say 85% of your 1 RM max. So what does this mean? Generally speaking, for things that are pure strength and or pure power, men tend to have a little bit better genetic predisposition for. Of course, there are always exceptions. There's a woman who's very power dominant, a man who's very endurance dominant. But generally speaking, between genders, if we take 100 women and 100 men off the street, this is generally going to be the case. Women at, let's say 50 to 70% of 1 RM max. If you take 1 RM max of that woman and this guy and take 50 to 70%, women are going to be able to do more reps with that weight than a man will. And they will also be able to do more sets with that weight than a man will. They have better overall volume tolerance, training volume. They can do more work and recover from more work as well, which is awesome. That's why I always loved when I had my own studio. I love training women because they can just like beat that, set by set of just really high quality sets and just continue with that high performance without a decline. For men, it doesn't really work that way. On the other hand, when you have especially sports that are like very, for example, weightlifting or, things like that, where it's very, power and or strength dominant, that's when men have a distinct advantage. So for example, if you take, almost maximum or sub-maximal weights, you're trying to do, maximum deadlift, maximum squat, something like that, basically powerlifting, right? Men will generally do better. They have an advantage there simply because a higher percentage of the whole genetic makeup supports that. Plus, there's a higher percentage of fast twitch dominant fibers in their muscles. So that's what makes it all work better than it does for women when it comes to this high intensity work. But again, for most people who are not like, powerlifting competitors, none of this really matters much when it comes to training. What it does mean in a very real, real world applicable way is that if you're a woman, you can tolerate higher training volumes, maybe do more sets with higher reps and continue with that performance. While for men, it really depends, and you always have to customize it for each person. But generally speaking, those are the differences between men and women. They're very obvious, especially if you've trained and worked with a lot of women. Like I have, so far I've had more than 1,200 clients in the last 14 years. I've seen this many times over. And it's really awesome to see. And when you know this, you can generally apply this like right now to your training to get better results. So guys, hope you liked this video. Hope you find it useful. If you did, please click the subscribe button and like the video as well. Another thing, if you click the video description below, there is a free video that I show you A to Z how to get from wherever you are right now to the absolute perfect physique that you want. The free video shows you A to Z how to do that. And another thing I'm going to add to that and kind of just drop you a completely free gift is a digital version of my book. So this book goes for $25 on Amazon. It has all 5-star reviews. Anybody who's ever read it, I send it to, signed copy to each of my private clients. They all love it and say that, if more people read this book, there will be less confusion out there on what to do and how to lose weight and build muscle. So I'm going to throw in a free version, digital version of this book. If you click that video below, link in the video description below, and just put your email there, you're going to get a free training on exactly how to get the best body you want. And I'm going to give you a free copy of this book as well. So please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, smash the like button as well. Click the video description and check out that training and get the free copy of the book. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Cheers.